I'm sure that you've seen the videos of 60,000 Moroccan young men pouring into Ceuta, Spain, and breaching the borders like it's the walls of Helm's Deep. If you've seen these videos, it literally looks like an invasion of Spain. We will go over what's going on, why is this happening, was this potentially organized, and what does this mean for the rest of Europe and Western civilization as a whole? But before we get into that, I'm going to be giving away $50 in this video and every video going forward to a random commenter who is subscribed and liked the video. So like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below to enter for your chance to win the $50 giveaway. Now back to the video. First, let's discuss what the hell is going on. On Thursday, July 30th, tens of thousands of Moroccans crossed the border and entered Ceuta, Spain, and the government did nothing to stop it. They swam past the border and occupied the small city. Ceuta is a Spanish enclave located at the tip of Africa, and it is not a part of mainland Spain. From the interviews I've seen of what's going on here, it seems like these people, predominantly young military-aged men, crossed the border in order to get access to larger cities in Spain and the rest of Europe, because you don't need a passport to travel between European countries. Nick Shirley has a good video about this, talking to a lot of these people that came over to Ceuta, Spain. And what he gathered from interviewing them was that a lot of these people are coming here for the benefits, they're coming here for work, and they constantly praised and thanked Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, which is very odd in my opinion. It is important to note that a lot of these people have already been sent back, and Spain did eventually send in the military to deal with all of this, because the people living in this town weren't able to go outside for 3 days. All the stores were shut down, there was no grocery stores open, so people couldn't get food, and there were just tens of thousands of Moroccan young men occupying the area. Nick Shirley did also interview a lot of the locals that live there, and they expressed fear for what is going on. Nick was also threatened with a knife and almost got stabbed. He got into a big knife chase, and you could see local citizens going for their morning run holding a giant stick because they're not allowed to have guns. So this was their method of defense against these people. Now, these people are people at the end of the day, and many of them did tell a compelling story about how there's no work in Morocco. They're coming to Spain and the rest of Europe in hopes for a better life. And there were thousands of teenagers aged 12 to 18 who left their families behind and crossed the border into Ceuta, Spain. And I can empathize with this. And it is very much a sad thing, but letting an unlimited number of illegal migrants, who were all young men by the way, is not the answer. It's not the way to genuinely help these people. They all said that they are fleeing Morocco and hope to use the asylum program to get to the rest of Europe and reap benefits, to get benefits in the larger European cities. But Morocco is not at war. There is no conflict they are fleeing, and that's not how the asylum program is intended to work. Now, I do believe from a lot of the stories that I heard from these interviews that Morocco is very bad. They said that there's no work there in Morocco, there's no future for them in Morocco. The people are starving and dying from starvation there. And that is sad, and we shouldn't just neglect that. But there's other ways to help, right? We should focus on humanitarian efforts to help them where we can. But the answer is not to have them come into all of Western society and just reap taxpayer benefits, right? At the end of the day, there's people who are going to work every single day, and then their tax dollars are going to fund these people coming into their country to live a good life. And not to mention that this also completely reshapes the cultural landscape of Europe and the West as a whole. A very important question is, why is this happening? Well, now we're kind of going to get into conspiracy territory, because no one knows for sure. Nobody can possibly have a concrete answer to this, but I will give you my best guess. First of all, Spain's Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, who all these migrants thanked and praised, again, very odd, is up for re-election, and he promised that he would grant citizenship to at least 500,000 illegal immigrants. Now, is this out of an overwhelming sense of compassion and empathy, or is it possible that he's essentially buying 500,000 votes for himself? I don't know. But I think it's possible that the Moroccan people heard about this and rumors spread that you could get into Spain through the Ceuta border. And then from there, the rumor just got out of control, and that's how you got the 60,000 people just pouring into the small town. I do think that that is genuinely a possibility, and a part of me hopes that that's actually what happened, because the other options are far more sinister, in my opinion. I think it was also possible that it was organized by the coyote types who help people cross borders and receive a profit in doing it, and they're selling the dream of Spanish citizenship and a whole new life. But I don't know. Do you have any idea how hard it is to organize a group of people? I can barely organize a group of my friends to go out and get drinks. So can we really believe that coyotes were able to organize a group of 60,000 Moroccan young men? I don't know, it seems a bit unlikely. But I do think it is possible that it was organized on some level. But to get that many people in one place, I think it would have had to been organized by a government. It would be too impossible otherwise, in my opinion. So I think it could have been organized by the Spanish government to bring in new voters, or possibly by the Moroccan government to have all these people flood into Ceuta to occupy it and then potentially annex it, or potentially by a separate shadow government who is punishing Spain by reasons that you could probably deduce on your own, with the goal of overwhelming Spain with Moroccan migrants to affect Spanish culture, bleed their funds, and just cause problems. What scares me the most about all of this is I think this is going to happen to all of Europe and the United States unless something drastically changes. It has already happened in most of the European countries, and under Biden, they estimate that 10 to 20 million illegal immigrants came into the United States. And these videos that we're seeing of these people coming into Ceuta, Spain, is only 60,000 people, which is a ton of people. But put that into perspective, where we saw 10 to 20 million people come into the United States. But to me, what is very disheartening about all of this is this feels like an issue that everybody should be able to get behind. How could anybody see these videos and think this is a good thing? How could anybody see these videos and not on some level be a little scared about this? And it's not about race or religion. Tens of thousands of young men of any culture, any religion, pouring into a city with unchecked rules is scary, is dangerous. And I think this is the future of Europe and the US and just Western society as a whole. Unless more people stand up for what they believe, more people stand up for their values, and more people vote against this. Because the open border policy is crazy. It's so ridiculous. But it exists because there's millions and millions of people out there who believe that is a good thing. There's millions of people out there who saw these videos and think that's great, that's awesome, or they just don't care. They want to see Western countries fail. They want to see the fall of the West because they resent the West. And it's not a conspiracy. You can see it in these videos. This is what far left political parties want to do to European countries and the US. And if far left political parties come into power, this is what is going to happen to the United States and all of Europe. It will become unrecognizable to the countries that we love. So let me know what you think below. Why is all of this happening? And how do we fix this? And if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And don't forget to enter the $50 giveaway below. Thank you.